Hello friends, it's your pal Bill Savely with Savage's Disc Golf and another video. I meant what I said in my earlier video where I said I was going to rethink things, and instead of coming out here to the park and playing around all of the time where all of my errors and all of my inconsistencies and my bad form just constantly live in reality, I'm going to throw discs from a standstill, focusing on form, and I'm going to use this medium right here to film it so that I can see myself on video and see exactly where my errors are. Where is my body position? What does my form look like so that I can start to fix these things? So I've got a bag full of discs and we're going to throw them. Bill, did you bring the red bucket? What? The red bucket so that you could put it out in the field and you could measure exactly how far you're throwing and work on it as like a target for accuracy? That red bucket. Yeah, the red bucket that you bought specifically to use as a target. That bucket, please tell me you brought it. I did not bring the red bucket. Lovely. No sweat. We'll just throw these discs anyway. All right, so this is going to be my target. Essentially, I'm going to throw towards second base of this baseball field in this wide open field. And I'm just going to work on form. I'm just going to work to see how well I can throw the disc, where it's going to go. But realistically, I'm just filming my form. And that's the way it's going to go today. This is where we're at. This is where we're going to start. I'm going to focus on just throwing a standstill. I've watched a couple of videos today on form and just pulling it back. We're going to see where we go. I've got 12 discs here. I think I'm probably going to throw them a couple of times. And we're going to start out with this version of a Mamba, the old custom stamp. What I want to do is get my feet in position, make sure I'm focused towards my target, and I want to keep the disc in, keep my elbow up, and what I want to do is just reach back and send it, but without moving my legs anything other than just pivoting this way, transferring weight, and I want to make sure that I turn my torso. So let's go, right? Big shout out to Blitz DG on YouTube. The guy's a beast. Roadrunner. This is a nice little Halo Star understable. So let's bring it up here, right? Start here. Prototype. Ken Climo. How does the form look? Does it just look like hot garbage? First time I've thrown the Proto, or the Proton Trail. They said it was overstable, so I was like, well, I bought it without waiting to see what they said. Right? Pull. Oh, that's a rocket. Okay, that's the best one I've had, and the furthest and straightest. Fission Trail. Ripped. I mean ripped. Okay, that's the best one. Holy shnikes. All these custom stamps by me. Right? I noticed, first of all, this one felt pretty uncomfortable. And my release probably was on too much hyzer, meaning too much angle, pointing downward on the side. So a majority of my discs flew far to the left. So we're going to be picking them up. So the Insanity, the Prototype, the Mamba, the Trace, they're all here. And then you can see further up the Gorgon, the River, which is odd. That's a 7-speed and it's all the way out here. I mean, there's your Roadrunner. And then boom, there's my Crave, 6.5-speed, and it just took off like a rocket. Speaking of rockets, we're going further. My target was actually between second base and third base. There's the Proton Trail. Boom. There is the Fission Trail. Boom. And then a little bit further back is that Mint Discs Lobster. Close. And how bizarre is this? Further back, there's one of my Wraiths in, I think, the base plastic or the star plastic. And then there's another Wraith in the base, that DX plastic. And look, they're legit. I threw them almost identically as far as each other. So I threw 12 discs, maybe 13 discs, and then it just got way too busy in the park. I couldn't really continue. But I've watched all of my shots that I just took back on the phone, and it's interesting because I don't think my form looks too bad, but watching it on the slower speeds, I can see where the angle of the discs right before I throw it, I'm dipping it too much again, which is causing it to go from the right to the left too hard. Too much hyzer, too much angle. I need to throw it flatter or a little bit of an anhyzer. And I noticed on the throw with the Proton Trail, another reason why I really didn't throw this disc is because it's dark blue. It's going to be really impossible to find. I like pink discs. I like yellow discs. I like orange discs in like the high vis. So when I got this, I was like, oh. But this disc bombed for me. And they said that it should be more overstable. The Fission Trail. So these two discs are the same make and model. They're MVP discs, and they're both trails. But this one is a Proton, which is the clear plastic, kind of like a Champion plastic with Innova. And this is the Fission plastic. It's got a little tiny air bubbles within the plastic, which theoretically makes the flight plate lighter weight, puts more of the weight on the end, which is the whole thing behind MVP anyways, with the gyroscope. The weight on the end makes them a little more torque resistant. Theoretically, they fly farther. This disc was a bomb for me. Easily the furthest disc that I threw out of all of them. But a couple of things. Number one, I'm comfortable with the trail. Number two, I was pretty much warmed up by then. I don't really throw this a lot because of the Fission plastic. It's very difficult to replace this disc if something should happen to it. But it bombed for me. Also, the Crave. Another MVP disc that I just don't throw this a lot because I don't think it works really well for me. Well, it worked really well for me today. Again, the angle, this, I think my form was really good during those throws. And then lastly, the other disc that did really well for me, The Mint Glow Lobster. Look at that stamp. That stamp is so good. This one is a 5.5 minus 3.1. Yeah. Mid-range. A mid-range. And it absolutely bombed. Went really far for me. About as far as the Crave. So, which were just a few feet behind the trail. So those discs did the best for me. River didn't do too bad for me. That was down there. But see, this is the color I prefer. I like the high vis. You can see this in the summer and you can see this in the fall because it shows up better. So I like the pink. I like the pink discs, like the Claymore. I like the high vis yellow, orangish. I don't know. So where do I go from here? I just keep going. I just keep practicing. I don't want to throw my arm out today, throwing 100 discs, but I will get a net and put it in my basement so that I can practice in the basement of my house, in the warmth. I can film myself in the basement throwing the discs. Unless I get a tech disc, it won't necessarily tell me what my angle is. I won't be able to see the flight of the disc, but I'll be able to get more comfortable in that whole motion. And then I will work that into my X step to create momentum and really explode out of the pocket, which means I'm going to be able to throw a lot farther than I do. I'd like to hit 350 on average. So that's my goal. You heard it here first, 350. All right. I will see you guys soon. Thanks again for watching, liking, subscribing, sharing if you do. Nobody cares.